Hi, I'm Corian.
And I'm Dave.
And welcome to our RV of 3 YouTube channel. This is going to be our mini-sodes of campground reviews. And why?
Because when we're doing campground, searching for campgrounds, we have Google reviews and we have a bunch of different reviews on the apps, but there's really nothing else other than photos, which we find are sometimes outdated.
Or misleading.
So we wanted to create a little mini-sode to show you the parks that we're at and give you our honest feedback.
Yeah. So currently we are at a campground in Greenriver, Utah, not Greenriver, Wyoming, although they're not far.
No.
And it is called iCamp.
iCamp.
Which seems to be a relatively newer campground. There's a few in the area, but a lot of them were booked up because this is a very popular season. And this place is located very conveniently close to
Canyonlands. We've got
Arches National Park.
And then,
those are within about an hour to the visitor centers of the Canyonlands Island in the Sky portion.
Pretty easy to get to. I will say that just a caveat, I guess, if you're getting to this particular campground, Google Maps or the RV map it wasn't on the map, so it was hard.
And they said that's not really their issue. They've done everything they can, just sometimes since they are newer, some of the places aren't up to date. So it just took us up the road. It was not far by any means.
Nope.
And so we liked this place because it was located to things we wanted to see. This is the longest we've stayed at a campground without actually working there. So that was convenient for us. And the website was super easy to sign up on. I did everything online, put down a down payment, and then paid the rest once I got here. The website explained what they offered, which they do tent camping all the way through full hookup pull-through sites, so $25 to $55 a night, which for a full hookup pull-through, I think is phenomenal.
Yeah, it's a really good price.
Yeah. We opted for a partial hookup, so they have a dump on site.
Yep.
And they do have other amenities such as showers, a dog park, they have laundry. So I just felt like we didn't really need the full hookup when we were only staying a few nights. We have enough room in our tanks.
How would you describe the bathrooms and showers?
Well, we didn't really need them because we do have our trailer, but I went in there today and super clean. They're like, you walk in, there's men and women's, and then there's several stalls and a few showers, table for all your stuff, and very clean, which I would love. And
that's good.
I'm impressed by. So check-in was nice. The lady that checked me in was super helpful, great communication with emails, and the suggestions she gave and the dog that she graded me with was named Kiddo. So that was great. I think everybody here was super nice and friendly.
Yeah, I'd agree. I guess the layout of the park was super easy to get through with the trailer. Didn't have any problems with that.
Definitely big rig friendly.
Yeah, big rig friendly. I like the fact that the spaces are very spaced apart. It seems like each space, I'd say there's probably 75 at most, maybe 60.
Yeah, there was something. We'll show you a picture of the campground layout.
And I feel like these spots were long, they were wide, and they weren't right on top of each other.
No, we hate when our slides touch the rig next to us. So that was nice. The overall feel of the area, though, the city seems a little run down. It's not the most up-to-date city. And not that this is a fault of the campground. It is what it is, but location for some matters. There does seem to be like a more permanent RV park on the edges of this park. And so a little bit, the RV park that's permanent looks run down. You can now hear the train that is going through.
There's a freight train that runs back behind us. Doesn't come super often, so it wasn't a big problem for us, but it did start around 5 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
So we were getting up around 6 or 7, but it did wake us up, and it is kind of loud. You're going to hear it going by here in a second. And then with the permanent campgrounds on the perimeter, they're not the greatest to look at. I feel like they should have put up a fence maybe to give a little bit more privacy because you're looking right into their backyards. They're a little run down. Lots of dogs, so you hear a lot of barking all day long.
They did quiet down at night, so I was very appreciative of that.
But all day long they'll bark, and then there's some cats.
Lots of feral cats
that run around from the trailers. So I'm sure that's to help with mice and stuff like that. But they do use the grounds as urine and I guess, number 2.
Litter box.
And they don't clean up. So.
And it being a newer campground, they have gravel that clearly goes for roads and the sites, but there really isn't any grass or moss. Now, granted, this is not an area that sees a lot of rain, but it has rained while we were here, so it's pretty muddy. I, again, don't fault them. It's not an area that would normally be muddy.
Yeah, it's just, there's gravel in your spot, but then like your area where that should have maybe grass is mud and sand, and it has rained every day we've been here, so it's got really muddy. So this is like the first day we've been outside, that we're getting ready to leave, but it did allow a lot of mud being tracked in, the stairs were dirty, and we didn't want Odin to be outside because it was so muddy. Yeah,
just something that could make the like lawn area more
I would say
useful.
Yeah, put more gravel down or try to plant
But
grass.
they do give you a stand-up grill area for charcoal
at each site.
and a table at each site, which does not always happen.
And there's a few trees.
And a few trees that I love listening to because we never get to listen to the wind through the trees.
All right. So we're going to try to give good and bad reviews.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you have anything, I guess, good that you really liked about this spot?
The thing I really liked and what I always look for in campsites is the space layout. So my number one good is like what you said. It's wide spaces, lots of room, very easy to drive in and out, big rig friendly. So that's my number one.
Okay, that's a plus. I would say mine would be that it wasn't very busy. There's maybe 10 trailers in the park out of whatever 70 spots that I said earlier. So it's quiet. There, other than that, the other campers aren't.
We did stay during the week.
Yep. So just the lots are empty. So.
And then my number 3 good thing would absolutely be how easy it was to register and how friendly everybody was here. So that goes a long way for me at a campground.
Mm-hmm. I would say my number 1 bad would be just the general feel of the area. It's not the most upscale city, and it's not the most upscale campground. It does seem a little run down, and then the trailer parks on the backside with all the dogs barking and stuff like that, and the railroad gives it that it's a budget friendly RV park. But if you're staying here for a couple days, I mean, it's not a huge issue for us. We were gone and enjoying the other areas, so it wasn't huge for us. So
yeah, my number 2 bad would be the lack of any sort of lawn care. Again, I get this area doesn't technically have grass, but something that would jazz up the spaces would be very beneficial.
I agree with that.
Do you have a 3 bad? I don't think I do.
Not really.
No, that's it. So, biggest question that people probably want to know is, would we stay here again?
I mean, I would like to try to stay. There's a state park across the street. That looks very nice. It's on a golf course. That one looks a little bit nicer. Obviously you're going to pay a little bit more for that. Would I stay here again? I guess if we're coming through the area and we're looking for a spot,
I 100% would stay here again. But that's because we don't look for frugal stuff. We don't need a lot of amenities. We don't need a lot of frou-frou. We go out during the day to do things. So I don't sit outside my camper.
Yeah, I mean, if you're
when we're on travel days and traveling around.
Passing through, stopping for a day or two, yes, I would
100%.
stay again. If you're just looking for long-term, weekly, 2-weekly, monthly stay, no.
But I also we can't talk about the other areas and whether they get the trains and all that noise as well, because it is a smaller city. So they might deal with it just as much.
Yep. Well, hopefully this is beneficial to you guys. Give us a thumbs up, follow us, subscribe. This is a new channel. So we're planning on doing this everywhere we stay to give people some feedback. So if you want to hear when we were staying in another place, get more reviews, give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And we'll see you guys on the next one.
Let us know if you've stayed here and what your thoughts were.
Bye.